And it was 0-0, I remember the game. I come off the pitch, my socks were squelching. I was like, what the heck? Suarez bit Ivanovic at Anfield. Yeah. Kicked off in the tunnel, and that was the old Anfield. Yeah. So that tunnel was tight. Yeah, and big guys. Ivanovic is big, Suarez is strong, and it's like he doesn't fear even anyone, not anything, not even anyone, anything. And then off the pitch, I got stabbed. A life-changing thing. So I got stabbed. It was 6 times, 1 in my head, a little one in my chest, and then 3 times in my legs. Andre, help! Because the big guys, 2 grown men. I was like, leave them. Whoever loses knows next time not to deal with them. So I signed for Liverpool when I was 15, from Bradford City. Prior to that, I was at Bradford City for about a year, and then it was just grassroots up until that point.
Did you always want to kick ball?
Yeah, I think that's the only real passion I had. And like, you know me, Josh, so basically it's like, if I don't want to do something, if I don't like it, I'm non-existent basically. So yeah, football's always just been something that I love, enjoy. I was a kid playing football, supported Liverpool. Couldn't ask for much more.
Did Bradford take you from grassroots straight into the academy level?
Yeah. So Bradford back then was a centre of excellence. Is that still a thing now?
Most have disbanded it and just kind of made the academy.
The academies, yeah. So Bradford was a centre of excellence. So I started at Yorkshire Amateurs, which is a team in Leeds where I grew up. Then went to Bradford, and then after that, I kind of, because of like my physique, I was a big kid. I played with the older ages and stuff like that, and I think that's how Liverpool like scouted me.
You played up. How did you find that academy, going to that academy system from grassroots?
Yeah, the Bradford wasn't much of a change. It wasn't much of a change. It was just more training. So you improve pretty quick from grassroots. Because I noticed when I went to Bradford, then going back to play with my mates, I was better.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That was my gauge. But from Bradford to Liverpool, it was frightening. It was worlds apart, yeah. When I first got to Liverpool, I was like, even at that young age, I was contemplating, well, am I even good at football? Because some of the lads, the way they just played the game, I was miles off it. But the more you train, the better you get, yeah.
So how did that whole Liverpool thing come about? Was it just Liverpool that were interested, or was there other bigger clubs?
Yeah. I'm not even sure, but I think it was only just Liverpool interested.
How did they see you?
I'm not even sure. I think back then it was scouts on the side of the pitch in the long coats, just watching.
So transition us from like the move from Bradford to Liverpool.
Yeah.
Get shipped off on your own or that.
Yeah, so because I was still at a young age, 14, 15, I think back then I matured quite quick, physically and mentally. So I used to commute to Liverpool. I used to get the train down from Leeds probably 3 times a week and stay with house parents for about a year. And then when I turned 16, it was got offered a scholarship, and that's full time. So they wanted me to live with house parents, but I just didn't feel comfortable doing that. And this is probably the times I met you when I first came. So I got my own apartment, which was great, but it was a risk at the same time for them, because a young lad, 16, own apartment, living by himself, carnage. absolute carnage.
16 but looks 20.
16 but looks 20, precisely. Absolute carnage. But I found a good balance between carnage. I did. I found a good balance. I liked my own space, so I didn't have the parties and the extracurricular activities that people were aware of. It's all about doing things have a balance, basically, in moderation. Yeah, that's the word. So yeah, I found a balance, and it just worked for me. Got picked up every day to go training. This was before I could drive, and yeah, it just works. I used to cook probably chicken dippers, fish fingers, and just what a lad knows. Yeah, but yeah, it was good times. So yeah, that that transition was crazy, but good at the same time.
But obviously, you got that independence really early doors, where a lot of players now don't get that, and they still don't get it even when the full-time pros. They don't.
Precisely, yeah. It's like I was thrown into the real world pretty quick. Outside of football, just living by yourself, even just like opening letters, paying bills, going Tesco. It was good. It was a good learning in a different city as well. Yeah. The accent absolute blew my mind when I first came here. So yeah, it was just a big culture shock. Everything, living by myself, having your own keys, remembering to do stuff, turn off this, put that on, X, Y, and Z. But it was good. It helped me grow. Yeah.
Yeah, and do you think that sort of helped you sort of grow into the person you are now and give you that independence? Because as I mentioned, a lot of players that we obviously deal with and we know, especially now, have zero like life skills whatsoever.
Yeah,
they can't even open a letter.
Yeah, literally. I still struggle with letters now, but
but at least you opened them.
The life skills, no, it did. It helped me massively. It did. It helped me massively. I got a lot of help along the way and stuff like that. But personally, it did. It helped me massively to grow up to who I am now.
How did it shape you, like financially, in terms of you get thrust in, you're on your own, no mum's there, it's just you.
Yeah.
How did you kind of cope with that?
Yeah. So I think the first 2 or 3 months, carnage again, because Liverpool used to give me an allowance. They used to pay my rent for me separately, so I didn't have to worry about that. But they used to give me allowance, food shop, X, Y, and Z. So just money management, I learned quite quick, because I knew if I buy them pair of trainers, which were what I was obsessed about back when you're 16, 17, trainers, the newest tracksuit, takeaways, you learn money management pretty quick, which has led me in good stead for now. Like I look back and I think, if I wasn't in that situation, what could be now? So yeah, it's good. It's just little lessons, and I'm not talking about a lot of money either. Yeah. They used to, I can't even remember the exact amount, but say I had £500. The first 2 or 3 months, I'd spend £300 in a day and a half. Maybe quicker. I'm being nice to myself. So that 150's got to last 3 weeks, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to do here? Now I'm having to think, and then as time goes on, you learn, okay, spend £20 instead of 50, spend this, that, the other. Start looking at the prices of things. So yeah, it helped massively.
What did you see around you in terms of like others, your peers?
Yeah.
That kind of just, you sit there, note back and think, that's not I like the way that looks, but what he's doing over there, that's
so that's tough, because I understand both parts. When you're young and you're playing football, especially for a big club, at any level actually, there's a stigma that other people put on you. There's responsibility that comes with it from family, friends. You get more attention of family, friends, women. So there's a lot that comes with it, a lot of expectation and stuff like that. So sometimes you get sucked in, and sometimes you sit back and look. And I've always been good at analysing what I don't want to do. So my peers around me at that time, I used to take the good and try leave the bad. And I say try because nobody's perfect. I've put myself in some situations sometimes, even when it comes to, at the early years, even when it comes to money, when it comes to women balancing 3 girlfriends at one time, and I'm 18. Do you know what I'm saying? And having to manage that, honestly, it's fun, and it's what a young lad should be doing, quote unquote. But it's tough. And then as you learn and you progress and you grow up mentally, you learn how to know what's right for you. That's what I would say.
You mentioned about pressure from friends and family, and obviously because they see perceived success, even though it might not reflect in like the pay packet. But they say you playing for a big club, they expect you to be earning 30-40 grand a week, and that's not the case. We all know that's not the case here. But people perceive that to be. Did you find that pressure quite difficult to manage, or did you take it in your stride?
Yeah, I did. I took it in my stride, but I knew the pressure was there. But luckily, my personality, even before football, I've always been good at saying no. And I give off an energy where somebody probably wouldn't even ask, because they just know me. So my friends, for instance, I never had like hangers on. I never had people expecting things from me, just because of the way I was as a child, maybe, and grew up into a young adolescent. So if I want to do something, I'll do it. If I don't feel a way about my decision that I've made. So I did take it in my stride. But again, what I always say is that, like, I'm 90% good and I'm 10% terrible. So the terrible could probably 70% good, because that terrible, it's a big 10%. Do you know what I'm saying? So in the times where I struggled, sometimes people pull on your heartstrings, your friends give you the sob story. This happened, that happened, X, Y, and Z. Oh, my mum's cousin's friend's brother, he needs this for electric. And I think, I've never met this guy, I don't live in the house. Why do I care about a man's electric bill? Type of stuff like that, honestly, I don't care. Or even just like when you're going out, you're young, you're going out on a date with a girl, you play for this team, you drive this car, because you've got the means to, having to pay for the meal, having to overcompensate and get more drinks than you probably would. All these things do come into to a young lad's head, playing football in the environments, and it boosts your ego. You feel like the man, you want to be the man. But what I would say is that, like, I've always just had a focus just on football. So I never got sucked into them type of pressures. I've always just did my own thing, yeah.
Focus on football.
Yeah.
What experience with the team first introduced you onto the scene where you knew personally, yeah, I've made it, you know?
Oh, yeah, so I'd probably say even under 18s Liverpool, because like you, it's hard answering questions coming from you because I know you. So and you've lived it, you've been in around it. Probably under 18s Liverpool, because of LFC TV. So you're a nobody, literally. And then when you start playing for the youth team at Liverpool, it was on TV, on LFC TV. So living in Liverpool, you go out in town and people recognize you, and you're thinking, how do you know me? I don't play for the first team.
Because I think it was free back them days. Oh, it was. I'm sure it was part of the package. It was standard. Yeah. So it's not like you didn't have to pay extra for it. So
yeah, you'd get recognised. You'd get recognised even when we'd go into L1, and you walk in and people are like, "Oh, you play for Liverpool," and you're thinking, "How do you know this?" But LFC TV,
wearing your full kit probably helped.
Wearing
socks and everything.
Full kit, shin is on, honestly, in the town centre. So we got noticed from a young age, and I probably can speak for all of us who was in them type of environments. Even say, I remember like some of the United boys experienced the same thing. Yeah, so probably that, where I was aware that other people knew who we were, so you couldn't be hanging about at late times and you couldn't be doing certain things. So I was always aware from around Liverpool under 18s, and then as you progress, it just gets more and more people. Now people are asking for a picture. Now people are conversating about football in the street, whereas before you could just walk up and down and no one would pay you no mind. But yeah, it's probably started from LFC under 18s, and then back then it was reserves. It wasn't even under 23s. Then the reserve team, and then obviously the first team is what it is.
What was the what do you say, one of the most strange encounters you've had, just kind of just being about?
Well, I've had many. I've had many strange encounters, because and again yeah, it does. Let me clear that up. Because I'm not on social media as well. That's another thing. So there's a lot of information that probably my peers of my age group get that I miss. So I don't know what's happening as of now in the gossip world. I don't have a clue. When people tell me stories, I'm like, oh, and they're like, don't you know? And I'm like, I don't have a clue what you're on about. I'm a man who reads The Guardian. I want the physical paper. Do you know what I mean? I go to the co-op, get The Guardian, or I'll get the Daily Mail or whatever. So I might see a few bits in the Daily Mail, but I miss out them pages. I've been in places where maybe I shouldn't have gone because I didn't know this was the prime, say, club or the prime place to be. And I get there and I think, oh, okay, here we are. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so even like,
Pop world.
It's crazy. Like I've been in toilets and people give me a hug, and I've nearly ended up in fights because they want a picture. All kinds of madness. You've seen there's all kinds of madness, or even in other countries, because I like to travel. And I remember I was in Japan, and loads of people, maybe because I was a black man, I look different, obviously. Loads of people asking for pictures, and then there was an old guy who came up to me, and then he started to say, "Oh, hi, Andre," and I was like, "What? Did you just say my name?" And then he was a Liverpool fan, and he knew I was. That was probably not strange, but the one that I always remember. Yeah. I was thinking, wow, how big football is, and even though I hadn't been playing for Liverpool for a few years, then people still know who you are.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. So when you obviously broke into the played under 18s, did you play for the Liverpool first team, and then did you go on loan before you went to?
No. So how I got my chance was through injury. I think Glenn Johnson wasn't having the best time then, and Martin Kelly was playing, and Martin Kelly got injured. So we travelled. I made my debut in Europa League. So we travelled as like a big squad, and the manager would always bring the young lads for the experience and stuff like that, which was good. So I thought I was part of the experience basically. And Martin Kelly got injured, and then I was told, "Oh, you're going to play at right back," and never played right back before. And he was like, "You good?" Like, of course. Where else do you want me to play? I'll play. And listen, I'm a football player, right? So that means I can play football. Just played right back, and yeah. Played.
How did that feel, like that first full team debut?
What I do say is, so even some of my friends ask me like, "Oh, what was it like playing against this team or that team?" And like, it doesn't, even though it was me, it doesn't feel like it was. I was playing off adrenaline, off excitement. It was just.
It's like you're at the outside looking in.
So sometimes now, like if Premier League years is on, and then I'm watching, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's me." Do you know what I mean? Oh, what you do that? Yeah, like honestly,
I was good.
I had hair. What's going on? Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was just excitement, adrenaline. So I played about 20 games. I think it was about 20 games in quite a short period of time, because Liverpool are in every competition. I played in the Europa League, Premier League, and then the Cup. So about 20 games in the space of over, say, 4 or 5 months. And then the season came to an end, and that was just like a bit of a whirlwind. Everything was great. I was playing, I was young, I was living by myself, felt good. It was good. And then I went on loan.
When did the contract come?
The next season. So for me, I think the experience of me living by myself from when I was 15, 16, the contract came when they first paid my scholarship. So in my brain, I remember the scholarship, I think it was £110 a week. Yeah. And then if you win, I think it's an extra tenner. But we was winning most games. We was Liverpool. Yeah. We only, with all my respects to all the other teams, we'd win 80% of our games, and we had a great team. Connor Cody, John Flanagan, Jack Robinson, Suso, Raheem, some great players. So we was winning 8%. So some months at £600 and these 16 and £600. I was balling. Listen, I had money to spare. Got some. I had to give you stuff. So that's when the contract came for me. And then as you progress, you get more money. I remember my first pro contract was £1,200 a month. No, a week. Sorry. So that's say £5,000 a month, and then after a little bit of tax, £4,500 or whatever. I couldn't believe it, and I was like, do I get this again the next month? And the one after that, I was like, what do you do with all this money? The contract came for me very early. So
did the contract come before you broke into the first team, or was it after?
No. So I signed my first professional contract when I was with the under 18s, and then I signed another one when I was in the reserve team, which was from the 1,000 200 was way more like unimaginable money. So I started having a sense of, I have a lot of money here at this young age. What do you do with it? How do you spend it? You only can buy so much clothes. I've never been a guy with 2 cars. I live by myself already. Okay, so my rent's paid, my house is paid for. I've got everything I need. After you buy everything you want, it's like, what do you do with the rest of it? So I've always had a mindset of, okay, save. So yeah, very early on, I didn't think about investing or anything. Always thought about save. I just used to save majority of my money, to be honest. After the blowout, after the blowout,
10%,
after the blowout, first 4, 5, 6 months, went carnage. I'll keep referring to carnage. After the blowout, always just decided to save.
Was there any advice given from anyone in the club, or were they just kind of left you to it?
Yeah, kind of left to it. I think it's just maybe the way I grew up, coming from where I come from. I always had, but we didn't have a lot. So I just used to think, if I can save as much as this, if it all goes wrong today, I've got this, and then I can figure something out along the way. So yeah, there probably was advice. It's probably rude for me to say that there wasn't, but I never looked for it anyway. I was always been one-track minded. Don't ask me about anything, I won't tell you anything. I'm good here, as long as I'm here on time and I perform, or at least try to. I don't need to say no more. But yeah, the money came early. It came early, and then when I started playing for the first team, another
Did
contract
they come again?
Another contract come, and then that's when I thought.
What was that experience like when you know you've been playing in the first team and then you got sat down? It's like, look, we're giving you a new deal.
Yeah, that was, again, it's like surreal. It's like what you dream of. Now you're thinking, I'm an actual first team player. My peers are Gerrard, Carragher, Luis Suarez. We had a good group as well of young lads. Again, probably names I mentioned just before. Raheem was in the first team, Connor Cody, John Flanagan, Jack Robinson, Suso. Jordan Ibe was just coming through in the first team then. So there was a good batch of young ones, along with obviously the established, experienced players. So yeah, it was good, but everything you dream of really is like a bit surreal, a bit surreal. Especially, I can see how when you see examples of it going wrong for people, of overspending, and people end up in situations where it's unfortunate. I can see how it easily happens, honestly, because when you get that amount of money at a young age, and I was only, when 18, 19, yeah, my head did fly for a bit.
What was the first big sensible purchase you made outside of all the crazy stuff?
My house.
Your house?
Yeah, my house. I've always just wanted my own house. So yeah, I just bought a house and literally tried to pay it off. I didn't even understand the mortgage. So there's loads of things. When you're growing up, you think, oh yeah, I'll just go buy a house. You think it's a bottle of water. Oh, can I buy that? Yeah, that's mine. But you don't understand. That's when this is the adult world now. I was thrown into the real world, living by myself, learning how to do things. But the adult world, you're adulting, and it's the most boring thing ever, in my opinion. Yeah, bought a house, and then we're saying a mortgage. I was like, what's that? Why can't I just buy it? I've got the money here. Just buy it. I don't want to do that, because what if next week someone robs my bank? That wasn't the mindset. I was like, what do you mean mortgage? Why? How much a month? I'll just pay for it like that. So yeah, you start learning new things, and you buy the house, and you got to pay for a solicitor. And I'm like, well, what have they done? Oh yeah, but they said, yeah, but what does that mean? I can do that though. So you start learning things, and yeah, it was good. So that was the first purchase I made, was a house, and I set up my mortgage, and then yeah, tried to pay off my house as soon as possible, and yeah, did that. And then your lifestyle gets more expensive, just naturally. Yeah. Your preference and the things that you like are more expensive. Yeah. The Nike trainers that I was obsessed over, I'm not even looking at them anymore. You start looking at the designers, brands that you can't pronounce.
You stop eating chicken dippers.
Stop eating chicken dippers. You move on to the steak and the salmon and the sea bass. Do you know what I'm saying? You stop going. No, I still go Nando's, but you don't go there as much, and you start going to bar and grill, San Carlo. So the bill's more expensive. I was using Dove shower gel. Now it's Laura Mercier and Joe Malone. Do you know what I mean? So your lifestyle gets more expensive.
How did you navigate the sharks in the water at that point?
Yeah, that was tough. That was tough. I've always found an obstacle with the sharks, meaning the women. Yeah, I've always found it tough. Always, because who doesn't like women in my eyes? And and when even if it's just in your nature to, even at school, I used to talk to all the girls, etc. And then when you're moving on after school, so I've always just been like, I prefer women to men. And then when you're playing football, you get more attention. At them young ages, you don't even care if they want to be around you because of the football. You don't, it don't even cross your mind. The attention, it boosts your ego, which every young
player goes through.
Player goes through. So it's tough. It's tough. But what I did balance well was that, and still performing on the pitch, making sure I was doing the basics right, getting to football on time, sleeping right, living right. I found a lot of. I've been through some situations, but it's so my main priority is always has been and will be football. So it's been good, but yeah, there's been some.
Were there any times you were like just told like or warned away from certain situations?
Yes, by some other players. Yeah, because even when you reach a certain age, then age doesn't mean anything. So as in when I turned 18, say a 26-year-old would now want my number, whereas before it was like, what? You're 26.
What do you want to do with me?
Yeah. So looking back at it, what do you want to do with me? Yeah. So yeah, there's the whole spectrum, and your whole group changes. It comes from these girls I knew went to school with, the girls from my area. That's your world you live in. And then when you start to play football and you progress and your name's out there a little bit more, it's now, you start going to clubs, you start to know more people, you expand, and now girls are seeing the attentions other girls give you, and now they want to give you that same attention. So your whole, in not just Liverpool, in Manchester, then in Leeds, then in London, and now I've been on 3-4 holidays, and now I've got a woman who lives in Madrid and this place, and then one's in Mexico, and then one's in New York, and then it's like, whoa, how do you balance all of this? You know what I'm saying? It's exciting, and it's this, and you're showing your friends, and they're saying, let me see more, and this, that, the other, and it's great for the ego, and it's you live in the dream basically. But I can see how people get lost in it because they live the dream, but the reality is your job and the football, and it was what comes first.
People take off their eye off the ball on that, don't they?
People take their eye off it, and yeah, I've never took my eye off it. Fortunately, just because I've got people like you around me, I've got some good friends and family that always remind me. Not that I'd probably need it. Sometimes I do. Even you've been an advocate of, listen, mind this, mind that. There's a bump here, there's a bump there, but yeah, fortunately, football's always come first, and it always will.
So when you were when that season finished at the end of the first team season at Liverpool, did you go back training at Anfield at Melwood at the time? And were you told you went in the first team, or what happened?
So after that first season of my debut, etc., I went on to the end of the season, went away, came back, did pre-season, and then everybody was fit. And I thought, I want to continue what I've just done, keep playing games and etc. And then I went on loan to Derby. That came about in about the January. Yeah, did I go into January, I think? Around Christmas time, I think I went to Derby, which was needed because I started the season off with Liverpool, then I was on the bench. I think I played 2 or 3 cup games here and there. and I didn't really enjoy it because of what I just did the season previous. On the back end of that, I wanted to keep playing, and I loved the atmosphere, playing in front of 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,000 a week. I needed that stimulus. I didn't really want to go back to play reserves, even though that was a great level. So yeah, I went to Derby under Steve McClaren, and that was a great time as well. Yeah, that was unbelievable. We got to the playoff final. We lost to QPR, unfortunately, 1-0. But yeah, I loved every minute of that.
What was the biggest difference between the two levels?
I think back then I didn't really realise it. But what I did notice was it's intense, because in the Champ is there more games? Excluding the cups and whatever. But even adding the cups, it's intense. Playing Saturday, Tuesday. It is intense. The intensity was probably, you could get away with a little bit more, but it was intense.
So on the pitch, do you think you're rushed a lot more then?
Yeah, so maybe in the Prem, say I'm speaking back then, you'd get a little bit more time. The wingers probably wouldn't try tackle, smash you. They'd nick it off you and whatever. But in the Champ, the wingers are smashing you. They're leaving a bit on you. It's intense. It's like every time they get the ball, they're just thinking, I need to score. Whereas in the Prem, it's a bit more tactical. It's a bit more smart. Play a little bit more with the brain. But yeah, I loved it. I was 20, I think. Yeah, I had loads of energy, fit, run up and down.
Which did you prefer?
I didn't really have a preference then, because I was just playing. It was all still new. So I was just loving just playing. I didn't even think about the preference of this one, that. It was games, and because I was playing, it was all good.
I think that's a constant between all footballers, really, isn't it? The constant theme is they just want to play football.
Just want to play.
Just want to play football. Just want to play football. And the money and the fame and everything else that comes with it is kind of secondary, because you don't play.
You don't have that. And even there's lads who have more notoriety than another player, but if he's not playing, he doesn't feel it.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel it. It's the feeling you get of playing, and then maybe going for a meal or going out. Well, especially at that age, after every probably win, even a few losses, you need a few bevies to take your mind off it. After a win, you go out, you feel good, and it's just, that's all the lads want to do, is just play football, just play.
Was there anyone that you saw kind of fall by the wayside that you just didn't understand how or why, because they were just a player and you just couldn't get your head around it?
What do you mean, as in good or?
Yeah, as in and they had all the attributes, but for one reason or another, whether
it just didn't work.
Like a Ravel.
Sidey.
Yeah. Wow, how do you that? Honestly, I've never seen skills like a Summer Sidey. To this day, I even reference him. I'm like, him, and he's had a good career, obviously, but like, it should have gone way higher.
Do you think from a footballer, but obviously you play at the highest level, do you think it's a mentality thing, or do you think it's a background? Because obviously all these lads have got so much ability, and they just can't seem to get that.
Yeah,
that last.
I think I'm not sure. It's hard to speak for them, but I think there's a few factors that may come into it. Maybe mentality, and sometimes the pressure of doing the same thing every week. Maybe in the good moments, it's great, but in the low moments, they might fall too low, and maybe not be able to replicate what they know they can. So yeah, I've seen the steady Eddies and play every game, and not great, but you want him in your team. With all my respect, saying not great, but you know they're going to be there and compete and everything. And then I've seen the wonders, and it's like, wow, why don't you do that next week? Why didn't you do that just a minute ago? And some people who play for 90 minutes, but 20 minutes in the game they're unstoppable, and then for 70 minutes they're non-existent. I've seen strikers that graft the bollocks off and don't score. I've seen the lazy one who walks about and got a hat trick. And you're thinking, how are you? Coming with a match ball buzzing, you're not even sweating. What is going on? So it's just hard. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure what the science is behind that. Why there is some players that just don't quite reach the full potential. I'm not sure. Yeah.
It's sad to see those. It's sad to see, especially when you play with them week in, week out, and you see what they can do.
Yeah, it's
or the potential they've got.
Yeah, it's more the training. You train with these guys every day. You know what he's capable of, and then maybe when it comes to Saturday, he's not quite the same player. Yeah, it's like what's going on? What's going on? And then people, they always try to look for reasons. Oh, he's not well. Or he's always got stuff going on at home. Stuff like that has never affected me. So I'm like, well, what does that mean? Like, you're still playing football. Why can't you forget? When I play football, everyone does live. So yeah, I can't really relate to the reasons people may use.
Was that round about the time that you kind of went into the England 21 setup?
Yeah. So I came through the England setup from not 18s, under 16s. Then it's under 17s, then 19s and 21. So yeah, I came all the way through that, and that was good. Some great players, like you said, Ravel, Connor Wickham, Ross Barkley, Josh McClaren, Connor Cody, the Liverpool lads, Mike Keane, Will Keane. Some really, really good players, really good.
Walk us through how that kind of came to a. It came to an end.
Yeah, it came to an end. I remember we was playing. So at under 19s, there was an under 19 championship, and I was still under 17s. But Stuart Pearce took me anyway, and we was in Israel for about 3.5 weeks, and it was a great experience. We didn't win it. I played, I think, a game and a half. But it was a great experience, and then Stuart Pearce wanted me to be captain for the 21s going into the next season, and then I'm not sure I don't think he got sacked, but I think he moved on to manage maybe a team. Can't remember, maybe Forest if I'm not mistaken. But he went into to first team management, and then Southgate got the job, and yeah, it was good. It's always good when you've got a good team. That's what I do notice, and when you're winning games, you're winning 90% of your games. If you play Spain, France, it's who's better on the day. That's what it was, especially at that age. It was who's better on the day, who can get the few tweaks right. So yeah, it was great. And then it came to an end. We played a game in Finland. In Finland it was, yeah. And I got sent off. I got 2 yellow cards. And I personally don't think they were sending offs. But looking back at it, we were playing abroad against a foreign team. Foreigners were known, still are, blunt, for diving and being over dramatic and stuff like that. And I was a bit naive to all of that, coming from Liverpool. Get tight, smash, grabbed. Listen, don't get the ball, get the man. Do you know what I'm saying? It's coming from School of Hard Knocks, basically. So I got sent off, walked in, and then it wasn't an argument, but it was after I was told to apologise to the team, let the team down, and I was like, we didn't lose. It's like, you're the captain. And I was like, no. Bit of a back and forth, a bit blasé, and then I never played again. But I think I could have maybe handled it different looking back. Don't know if it probably was ego, apologising as a group of men. Probably felt a bit spoken to wrong. Didn't really have a complex, but my thing is, speak to me how I would speak to you, and the manager. He's got to set a precedent, obviously, which is respected, but I felt like I needed to be treated different just because of my personality, not because of any other thing. So yeah, and I didn't play again, but it was good. Yeah, it was good.
So then the following season, you went from Derby
to West Brom, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, West Brom. Again, great. It was another step
Premier League
up.
now.
Yeah, that was in the Prem. So left Liverpool, went to Derby in the Championship, played every game since I got there. Got to the playoff final. We lost, unfortunately. Bobby Zamora scored, lost 1-0. Was upset. Went on holiday, had a great time. Come back, did pre-season with Liverpool. Did part of pre-season with Liverpool. Then West Brom came in for me. Alan Irvine was the manager. Went off to San Francisco, did pre-season, was great. Started the first league game, played 25 league games under him. Was great. Premiership, another level. West Brom, good, solid team. We did good that season as well. We did good. But Irvine got sacked because I think we lost a few games on the bounce. And I think when you're at a club like West Brom, when there's in the Prem, they want to stay in the Premiership. So I feel like they act fast, the teams that are wanting to stay in the Premiership. Mm-hmm. And yeah, he got sacked, and then Tony Pulis came in. Great guy. If I seen him now, I'll probably give him a hug. But his footballing style did not suit me whatsoever. Whatsoever. And I do respect it, but I think if you're a football fan, you know the Tony Pulises, the Sam Allardyces.
Yeah.
Long throw, get the ball in the box, down the channel, cross it, head it, smash it in. And I've come from, since I started Liverpool, it was pass.
More sophisticated style
of playing. People say it's the right way, but that's subjective opinion. That's all matter of opinion. So yeah, the style of football when I was at West Brom under Pulis didn't suit me at all. So I was in and out of the team, but just didn't suit me. I couldn't wrap my head around the way he wanted to play. Mm-hmm. And that was like a real eye-opener to me, as in this is professional football, because I've had a great time at Liverpool, great time at Derby, just unfortunate. Now West Brom, we're fighting every week, we're celebrating every goal like it's the final. Right, yeah. do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like every goal, it don't matter. every goal, yeah. Because even there's bonuses behind wins now. Yeah. It's different. We want to stay in the Premier League, and the higher we get up the table, the more bonus we get. So people have got different motivations. If you play for money, if you play for the love, whatever it is, we need to win this game. And with all my respects, again, the teams that just got promoted that season, I can't remember who it was, but it's like we know we need to win these 6, and then it'd be like structured. We need to win these 6, and then we play the big boys. Okay, let's have a look, but we defend, and then we hit them on a counter, and we try to do this, and it was just every week it was a different game plan, different set, and it was professional football. I seen lads argue in the changing room like I've never seen before. Seen fights happen on the coach. Yeah. It was. This is men's football.
Do you think it was the pressure of this?
Yeah, I think it was everything. Like I said, people play for different reasons. If it's like, I just love football, I'll play any level, as proven. I was at Warrington the other week type of thing. Some people play for, the love of the game. People play for money. People play just because they're good, and it's just happened to fall into it. This is, the chips have been dealt. People have different motivations. So when I was at West Brom, it was the real men. It was the men's world. It was, this is football type of thing. That was like, wow, I'm a professional football player. Now, yeah, that's when it felt real. All the adrenaline wore off. I've played how many games now? It was raw. It was raw. I can't even remember, touch the ball, run, sprint. I'll go, everything was just a blur. But now it's like, okay, every week I've got to do this. I've got this job. I know I'm doing this. So yeah, that was a great experience.
Did it cause any issues in terms of the differences between attitudes? Like some players who were just there they were the highest bidder, so I came to West Brom and I'm not really bothered what happens.
Yeah, for sure. When I always think, like, there's a squad of about 20 to 25 players, and you all sat in a change room every morning, every afternoon, you all train together every day. Every day you get the odd day off here, the odd day off there, every day. So it's just so much testosterone and ego and pride just in a box. It's in one space.
A sweaty box.
Yeah. And if you told me to shut up yesterday, it's, oh yeah, cool. But if you tell me to shut up today, it could be a whole different story. Yeah. So it's tough. It's tough being in a room with all these men and everyone's got money. I would say men and money, it's a contest, innit? Yeah. It's like, if I scored this week and you didn't last week, and it's all these things come into play, and if you was crap in training, the lads might get onto you. Most days you take it and laugh it off, and yeah, but some days your missus has pissed you off in the morning, the kids are screaming, and today you don't want to hear anything. So there's a lot, but it was just an experience for me. I've always been just cool when it comes to like in the changing room and stuff like that. I'm low maintenance. Like I go to work, come home, talk to everyone.
It's definitely a big ego thing, that changing room sort of scenario, isn't it? Of the stories I've heard about players come in with, a new Ferrari or a new car. I've got to go and get one, or the new watch, and it's like top trumps of
the watch.
Yeah, the watch.
Some players come in like they're going Paris Fashion Week, and some lad will come in the shorts and t-shirt every day, and then he gets stick and he gets stick. It's like stick on every level. Yeah. If you dress too much, well, where are you going? Who do you think you are? You're just like, fuck, you're homeless. You know what I mean? And then like some days you take, the majority of the time you take all the stick and stuff, but there's days where you just don't even want to hear anything from anyone, and you could lose it. And then I've seen clashes happen, and I'm always like, wow, this is it. Yeah, but even I've always been in, not of awe of people, but of the profession. Because like I grew up watching Match of the Day and hearing the commentators scream Gerrard and Rooney and these things, and I've always been like, I play football, like wow, I'm at West Brom, I come in every day, look at all these cars. Like I'd go into the changing room and to see people's clothes and watches, and I'm like, wow, this is sick. It's always just been like just sick to me. Like I can't believe
like
that
you're living your dream.
I'm literally living my dream, and I've always.
I think that's a very good point, because I do see, because obviously we obviously have a lot of footballers, and I think a lot of people lose sight of that. Yeah, that's the dream. Where you're 14-year-old you, that was a dream, and now it's you kind of lose that dream, you lose that vision of why you're doing it.
Why you're doing it.
The money not as nothing, and you go back to your point of you love playing football, and that's what people. The older you get, and maybe you become more corrupted by the whole system and the process and the politics and the bullshit around it all.
Love of it,
and you kind of forget why you're still doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why people fall out of love with it, maybe, but I'm just like really not bothered about the politics and all that type of stuff. I always think what will be, and wherever you play or whatever situation you're in, as soon as I'm on the pitch, I'm like happy again. Yeah, like it don't really bother me.
So, changing room talk now. Any club you've been at, what's the worst kind of financial decisions you've heard people say? Because you're actually good with your flat, so what's the worst? What have you heard that you've just been like, oh really? Oh
wow. There's been some gifts that they buy for girls that don't know. And I'm like, what? You bought her a what? You sent her what? Watches, bags.
Don't say cars.
There's a few cars been bought. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. For sure. There was, in fact, a girl that I knew, and she told me how much money someone else was giving her, another football player.
And you played on the same team?
Yeah.
You played with him?
Yeah, played with him. Like, oh, I didn't know you knew each other. I didn't know you two played for the same team. It's like, oh yeah, why? Do you know he pays for my rent and buys her? What? Mental. Yeah. Holidays, how much money people spend in the summer.
Hold on.
Oh,
when you heard that, was your next move where you went into the changes the next day? It's just look at him and smile.
I look at him and smile. You know my approach on things. I thought, I can't even go over and tell him, because he's gonna be so destroyed that he knows that I know. Yeah, there's many cases of that. Many to this day as well. Many cases of that.
And they know who they are.
Yeah, they know who they are. Yeah. But a big one is, it's not really so much that the purchase of items. It's like when you're in the off season, that's the most dangerous time for a football player.
Time and money.
Time and money, because you've got the funds to do whatever you want with your time. But yeah, I've been on holiday and seen the lads from other teams and X, Y, and Z, and seen them go through some money in nightclubs and parties and things like excessive amounts.
What's the worst bill you've seen?
The worst bill I've seen?
Yeah.
I think 180.
Oh my gosh.
One night in Vegas.
One night, yeah.
180,000 pounds. And all my brain thinks is, what? Like, I buy houses.
Yeah.
One of my houses costs 170 grand. That's a whole house. It's got 3 bedrooms in the kitchen. It's got everything, and it's a house. So I'm thinking, you spent this on champagne and this and the kid. I'm thinking, you're mental. Yeah, it's mad. But I think the most expensive bill I've had by myself was it's frightening to say. I think it was 9 grand, and I was disgusted. I was like, 9 grand, and had a great time. Hardly remember it. All my friends and stuff, and I was like, Andre, what are you doing? You don't. Yeah, I always say I can pay for it, but can I afford it?
Yeah.
And I think the difference is when I mean afford. I mean, like, I'm only 31. I plan on living at least 80, at least. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a good innings. Yeah. After that, yeah, sweet. Do you know what I mean? What will be. Yeah. Hopefully longer. Do you know what I mean? And I think, can I afford that when I'm 62? And I'm thinking, oh shit.
I wish I had that 9 grand. 9 grand. Yeah.
What is it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can pay for it, but can I afford it in the long run? So yeah, I was disgusted. I was disgusted with myself, like, flipping heck. And then the next night I spent 2, and this is the thing, when you have these funds, so 2 grand on one night
is a lot.
I'm miles off it in my head. But because I spent 9 the following night,
you think it's a win.
Sweet.
It's a win.
You think it's a win, but everything's great in hindsight when you look back on things and you think, so I spent 9 now, I'll spend 2 now, and then I'll do this. And then when the summer's finished, you've accumulated of however much, you're like, what? And you can't remember much of it. Because most nights you're partying, you're doing this, it's hot. You know, in the heat, your brain cells fry. That's what I always say anyway. In the sun, makes you a bit loopy. Can't remember, but you've had a great time in the summer, but then you think, what am I doing? And then you just start to make better decisions and stuff like that individually. But some people don't learn, and it takes other people to mature quicker, later.
But obviously, footballers have a very limited lifespan.
Yeah.
And you have a peak of earning potential.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of players think that they've got that Peter Pan attitude.
Exactly.
That's going to last forever. I'm going to earn 200 grand a month for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And it's never going to stop.
Yeah, it's never going to stop.
But it does. And it falls off a cliff pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah. Rapidly. It falls off a cliff rapidly. When I left Derby, my contract ended at Derby, and it's like, I invested in property, so I was good. But that was paying for itself. The rent was paying for the mortgage. So it's like, last month I got X, and this month I've got 0 coming into my bank. What do? Yeah, you have money, but every time you spend, you just see your account going lower. And again, when you live in life, so now you've got kids, you've got this and you've got that, your lifestyle becomes more expensive. As I said, the creams you like, the shower gel, you go to this restaurant, you still want to do them things.
This isn't 17-year-old Andre anymore, is it?
Yeah.
Chicken fingers.
You still want to do those things. So it's like that, to find that adjustment in your mind, that's hard. That's why you see some people go into depression, or some people pick up the alcohol, or some people gambling, some people, majority balance it, but there is a minority, which is still a lot of people, that find it really difficult.
Yeah.
Just touching on that point, so that time when you were at Derby, and when you left, I know that was a kind of a tough season for you, kind of off the pitch.
Yeah.
Just, kind of walk us through what transpired.
Yeah. So Derby had a great time there. So just to round it up, so I went to West Brom, great season there. Then the next season I went to Norwich. Was good. We got relegated, but was good experience again. Season after that, I went to Salzburg in Austria. Unbelievable. We won the league. We won the cup. Different style of football. I learned, like I say, I didn't learn the language.
Like? Just what was it? Just
great experience. I probably that opened my mind up to football on a worldly level, because I was so probably ignorant to just England, just football. I don't know every Premiership team. All the champ teams, probably that's it. You watch Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, Inter Milan, AC Milan. Past that, it's like, do I really know football much? So when I heard Austria come up, Salzburg, well, who's that? Where's that? What is that? Austria, don't they do like snowboarding and them flying when they've got the wings? That's an extreme sport place, right? It's like, no, the league, this, that, the other. When I've gone there, totally shocked. Great players. Great facilities, everything was as good, the way they worked, the way we played, everything.
What surprised you about the level?
The level, athletes.
Really?
Athletes, some good technicians. It was just a great run club, but even playing against the other teams and stuff like that, it was a game every week. It was a game every week. Whoever we played, it was tough. Probably a bit easier because we was the best team being at Salzburg. For instance, we had Minamino, who went to Liverpool. Yeah. We had He-Chan, who's at Wolves now. We had another guy, Samaseko, who's playing in the league now in Germany, I think. Hadara, who's at Leipzig. Upamecano, France centre-back. So we had a great team. But yeah, that was a great experience. So had a great time there.
Did you not want to?
Yeah, I think, so when I was there, I had a child.
Yeah.
So I could have potentially signed there, but I had an offer from Derby as well. It was offering me a lot of money for the championship, for anywhere, to be honest. A lot of money. I say for the championship. Because I think when, you know, like the newspaper, and it'll say Ronaldo makes 100 million per year. So I know my family especially, oh, Ronaldo makes 100 million. Andre must make 10. Surely. We know he's not Ronaldo. Clearly. But if he must make 10 a year. He must do. Do you know what I mean? So that's mad. That's how people look at you. Yeah. So what, Ronaldo you must make what, 5, 10? Huh? Wish. Per year? What? You think I'd be playing football if I did? I'd be in Vegas on a boat somewhere. But anyway, came and I signed for Derby, previously there on loan. Went there, great club, was good. Spent 3 years, so I was there 3 years, and then my final year, that's when we got into a lot of financial difficulty. The club on a whole played that season during COVID. It was the first year, was that the first year COVID? Yeah.
Was that the final year of your contract?
Yeah, the COVID season. Yeah, where no fans were in, and we were playing with like the noise.
The noise.
Yeah. So I was playing that, and then.
What was it like actually playing with it? Because we can hear it on TV, but when you're actually there at the ground, what was it like?
I didn't like it.
So they were playing it in the ground?
Yeah, but it was like a bit like out of sync. It was out of sync. It's like, say, if someone shot, the ball's gone over, then you hear and you're like, what? Oh yeah, the flipping thing.
Yeah.
I personally didn't like it, but then without that, it gives it a bit of a training atmosphere, a training ground vibe, and it's competitive. So some people need that, the crowd and the noise just to give them a little 1%.
Because definitely the standard of the intensity level.
The intensity
was definitely less.
Yeah, it was definitely less on every level. TV, So it was one of them. Some people preferred it. I don't think anyone liked it, but some people may have preferred it more than without. But yeah, it was a weird season. And then during that season was playing majority of the games, and was talking about signing a new contract, but because of the financial difficulties, X, Y, and Z, nothing really came to fruition.
So they didn't put anything in front of you at the time?
Yeah, nothing, because they knew the next season they had to go into administration, didn't they? Yeah, and then off the pitch, I got stabbed. Yeah, so that was a life-changing thing. Forget about football, it was like, I got stabbed, so I had to probably retrain my whole mind. Because I've always had this like feeling of when you play football, you're fit, you're strong.
Feel invincible.
Feel invincible,
Yeah.
somewhat. Yeah, for sure. And then when something like that happens to you, it puts you in like a vulnerable place because you know you can be hurt.
Yeah.
And it's outside of football. So if you get injured on the pitch, when you come back on the pitch, you still feel great. But this was like my body, so I got stabbed. It was 6 times, 1 in my head, a little one in my chest, and then 3 times in my legs. So both glutes and the inside of my leg. So I still had that feeling of I need to still play football. That's all I know. That's all I want to do. Come out of hospital. I was home for about 2 weeks, and then I went back into training. And I don't mean literally onto the pitch. Slowly but surely went on the bike, started walking on the treadmill, X, Y, and Z. But I think that was like more of my ego telling me to do that. And I needed to do that at the time. So it was probably the worst decision, but best for my mind. So I rushed coming back into things. And my body wasn't ready, but my mind needed some form of distraction from the reality that I faced, type of thing. So went back into Derby and saw the season out. I think I played 1 more game after about 2.5 months from being stabbed. But yeah, I just knew I wasn't the same.
How were the club with the situation? Were they quite supportive or?
Yeah, very supportive. The player liaison at Derby, Adam Storrow, and the doctor Amit Panu, they was great. Even to this day, still friends with them. They was great. Very, very supportive. But again, like maybe because I've had such an independence from a young age, I never asked for anything. It's just always, no, I've got this type of vibe. I give off, no, I'm good. I don't need this, don't need that. Even, I didn't need anything really. It was just, the way I was dealing with things is, okay, this has happened. I need to recover. I need to get back playing football, because I thought if I sat in that feeling, it could fester and stay with me, and I didn't want that. So I pretty much like had to tell myself, okay,
you're okay.
You're okay. Yeah. You're gonna heal eventually. You can get back to football and just pick up where you left off, basically.
So you treat it more as like a injury on the pitch in your head to sort of deal with it.
Probably so. Yeah,
rather than something that happened outside.
And like I said, it was probably the best decision for my mind because I needed to do that, but probably the worst for my body. Yeah, because it was internal wounds type of not
you
type
think you
of
just
thing.
rush yourself back to?
Yeah, I rushed myself back to.
You didn't feel right.
Nah, I didn't feel right, and I played 2 games actually. So I come back from being stabbed, and I played 2 games, and the second game I ripped my groin. Yeah, the second game I ripped my groin, but that's. So looking back at, like I said, hindsight is the best thing ever. I love hindsight, you know. But yeah, it's probably my body wasn't strong enough. I wasn't right, and I ripped my groin against Preston, and yeah, that put me out for another 4 months. But in that time, the season had finished and my contract had finished, and Derby asked me what do I want to do, and then I spoke to like a few specialists and doctors, and they said, the only thing you need is rest. It's like, I've got severe nerve damage. Who knows, it might come back tomorrow, it might come back next year. So I just needed rest, and I just took the advice and I rested. Yeah, literally.
So you took some time out, and what did you actually do with that period when you?
Yeah, so in that period of time, I went to Dubai. So I went to Dubai for, I can't remember, I was there for longer, wasn't I? I was in Dubai for a long time. I was in Dubai for a long time, but that was good. It was just a change of environment, change of scenery, different type of lifestyle, in the sun every day, on the beach. It was good. I had a good time, but I needed that so my body could just fully heal. and not rush anything, not have the pressures of when I'm in an environment. So if everybody in here now was boxing, I'd want to box 100%. I'd want to fight. If people are juggling, I need to get involved. So I can't be around sport and not want to participate. So I just needed to get away and like change my whole environment and stuff like that. So it was great. I rested, I healed, and it was good. And then I came back, and this was definitely my ego. I came back and I'm thinking, right, let me get on the phone. I'm ready to play football again. And there's fit and there's football fit. And I wasn't even fit. Do you know what I mean? So I rung all these clubs, people that I know. I remember I went to Birmingham, Gary Gardner, is it Craig? The brothers anyway, Gardner. Craig, sorry. I always get them mixed up. Craig Gardner, rung him. He was like, yeah, sure, come down. You ready to play? Of course I am. I'm healed. But my brain was just frazzled. The sun, the cells, my brain cells diminished when I was in Dubai. It's so hot. Gone there, was training. And then I was like, wow, I need to train. I'm miles off it here. But I was training. Was good to be back in the environment. But I just needed time. But football...
Waits for nobody.
Waits for nobody. Time's not your friend. Your name will hold a little bit, but not for too long.
And you've forgotten about so quickly.
You've forgotten about so quick. And I just kind of did the training. So I was with Birmingham. I trained with Birmingham for a while. Went to Burton. Trained with Burton for a while. Who was the Burton manager? So at Birmingham it was Lee Bowyer. At Burton it was Hasselbank. Hasselbank. Just getting the miles in my legs, basically. Just getting that in. And then
how did you find the difference between you being at Prem and Champ, big Champ clubs that have been Prem, whatever, and then now go into train at kind of League One? And, how did you find the difference in terms of the setups and the way how it's kind of treated?
I'll adapt to wherever I am, and I don't expect nothing of it. So at Liverpool, when I say you don't have to do anything, there's bottles, there's water, there's a Lucozade, there's some other things that I don't even know what are. Take that. There's vitamins with your name on, the kit, the underpants. So everything is laid out for you. All you got to do is get there. That's what you got to do.
No boots.
We'll sort you out. Boots are clean, smell good. I was thinking, what's this fragrance in the boot? Everything's there. And then when you go down, obviously, it's probably the staff, the less finances, the less staff that can get. So there's now one man doing 4 jobs. At Liverpool, this kit man is just the kit man. The chef is just the chef. The chef at a League 1, 2 might be the chef, it might be the boot, it might do other things. So, I've always just been able to adapt to where I am. So it was different, but it's just because of the situation that the club was in. Like at Burton, we had to report to the stadium and then drive and train somewhere else. And I've never done that before. I've always got to the training ground and you train where you are. And so I remember the first day I thought, to train at the stadium. It was like, report at the stadium for this time, for 9:30, we train at 10:30. Got to the stadium, so at 9:30, got there, got changed. Then at about 10 o'clock, went into the toilet, chilling in the toilet, 20 minutes on my phone. And I've gone out, put my boots on, gone onto the stadium pitch.
No one's there.
Not one person's there. Run back inside, check my phone. It's 10:30, what the fuck? Where's everyone? And who was there? What's the striker called who went to Bolton from Burton? He was gonna hit me when I forgot his name.
Went to Bolton from Burton.
Yeah.
I think I know who you're talking about, but his name's just
black guy.
Yeah.
Cool guy anyway. I've rung him because in the group chat there's numbers. And I was like, who do I know in this group? Oh, him. Yeah, wrong. He's like, where are you? He's like, at the training. I was like, what? No, you're not. I am. Like, oh, we train at St. George's Park. What? No one told me. So there's little things like that were different. But yeah, it just was what it was, and I knew where I was at in with my situation. I knew that I wasn't going places to even look to get signed. I was going there on fortunate merit because of I played for this team. I'm in the football system. People know what have happened. Maybe feel a bit sympathetic. Do I care? No, because you're letting me train. I'm grateful. And was treated well everywhere I went. So yeah, I was training. Was fortunate for that. So yeah, it was good. I didn't really pay it no mind.
What would you say in terms of, on the pitch from your professional career, what would you say that's affected your personal life the most?
Personal on the pitch, I'd say it's probably not playing. When you're not playing, it can, I've seen people even like, I wouldn't say depressed, but close to. I've seen it because you come into training every day, you're around the lads every day, and then when that team go out to play, or some lads are not even in the squad, so you're training every day, you're giving it your all, and if you feel like you warrant to be in the squad or even in the starting 11 and you're not, because the manager doesn't quite see how you fit, or like me when I was at West Brom, Pulis was like, Andre, you passed too much into the midfield, I need you to go channels. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm giving it to one of our players. Nobody's in the channel. He's like, don't worry about that. I'll tell the winger to be there.
Be the channel.
But if he's not, Andre, I'm saying the wrong things. We didn't speak the same football language. Great guy, when I say top man. But the football language, I spoke X, he spoke Y, and it was just not correlating. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I was thinking, what the heck? I should be playing because I'm not playing bad. I'm playing how I think football should be played.
Yeah.
But yeah, some players just are not suited for that team maybe, or the manager. And I think that affects you off the pitch because you take them things home. You start thinking about, why am I not playing on the drive home? What do I need to do more? Or you been playing and then the manager gets sacked who's been playing you, and a new manager comes in and now you're not even in the squad. It's like mentally, it's like, what? I've played, say 20 games. Now you've come, I'm not even starting. What? I'm not in the squad.
And there's no reason behind
it. There's no reason.
You've done nothing wrong.
And like, I always say managers, the great speakers, great speakers.
Politicians.
Yeah, great politicians. So sometimes they'll go knock on the manager's door. There's that cliche, the managers always say, oh, come knock on my door, it's always open. I don't know many managers. I swear I don't, I swear. And even if it is, not a lot of people go.
Have you ever seen a manager avoid someone, or you?
Avoid? I was even just speaking to a lad now, I'm not going to say his name, but it was somewhere. He said he used to wait to catch the manager because he was avoiding it. So he used to hide. And then when the manager comes out, he'd go and he'd see the manager scrambling. Honestly, I've seen it all. Managers avoiding, pretending to answer the phone when they see you on the corridor. It's crazy. It's crazy. Because it's a tough job being a manager. There's, like I said, there's 20 to 25 players.
Try to keep happy.
All these
happy,
different from different countries. People's personalities are different. This lad's ego's bigger than this one's, and he might be the worst player, and he's saying, "Why am I not playing?" And he's like, "Huh? Do you really think you should?" So there's a lot, and then the club, he's got to speak to the owners, and he's got to do press, and he's got to do this. It's a tough job being. You see some managers go there full head of hair. 4 or 5 months to start receding. It's the thing.
Just age overnight,
it's a thing.
But,
it literally is. So it's a tough job being a manager.
You ever seen a manager completely U-turn on someone where don't fancy him, and then all of a sudden someone's injured, I need him in, you know what?
And he's the best pal. Oh no, it's mental. I've seen a lad train with first team established, been playing, manager comes in, not for me, training with the 23s. Then 2 injuries happen, comes back in the changing room like, oh boys, I'm back. Hey. Next thing you know, he starts and then he'll score. It's always written to, he scores. And now the gaffer's, all right, mate. I think, what is going on here? I seen it with, whose name, what could I mean? Axia, who's at Derby. It was under Gary Rowett. And Ketch.
Didn't want to know.
He didn't want to know. I think Ketch's personality wasn't very, it was a great guy, but he wasn't very like I want this. He used to train with the 23s, and then we got like 2 or 3 injuries, and we was going into the playoffs. Fulham beat us in the semis of the playoffs that year. Ikechiani started in the semi-final playoff, but during it, he played, I think, 2 games during the whole season.
Imagine.
He was, we used to call it, he was in Siberia. Because at the Derby training ground, there's like the first team pitches are here, and then where the 23s used to train, it was like a bit of a walk. It was a walk up to the back pitches. He's gone to He was in Siberia. Now he's back on. He's back in town. Honestly, it's mad. I've seen it all.
Such a strange business, though, football, isn't it?
It's so strange,
and it's such a fickle business.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and I'd say we go back to the point. You're so quickly forgotten about as well.
So quickly forgotten about.
And you go back to your point of, the difficulties if you're not playing, that transcends into your personal life. But
100%.
especially when you haven't got a club as well.
Yeah,
I think that makes such a difference because I think people forget that players have had such a rigid routine since they were 14.
Yeah.
And like where you've got to be, and you know what you've got to do, and you know when you're playing.
Yeah.
And then that just goes.
Yeah.
What do we do?
So even after Derby, I went to Dubai, and I was there for a purpose, to rest, to heal, and I did that. And then when I came back to England, I had nothing to wake up for, absolute nothing. So my whole pattern of how I lived my life totally went out the window. I was up till 4, wake up at 3 in the afternoon, eat once, because I'm so full, nap, stay up till 6. It was just, I was spiraling, and I was like, what am I going to do? So then I went back into training. I went to Birmingham, then I went to Burton. And then I thought, no, I need a team now, and I need to get fit, because there's, like I said, there's fit and then there's football fit.
Yeah.
And I need to get fit. So I did that myself. I just got fit, was in the gym every day. I shedded a bit of weight because I'm naturally a big lad, so naturally I'm going to put weight on. Shedded some weight, and then I rang Josh and said, "No, mate, sort something." Yeah, and even in that time, I've always had an agent when I was playing. Always had an agent, but because I stopped playing, essentially, I just parted ways with my agent. Great, really good agent, but I was like, "Listen, I need to rest. I need to stop." And yeah, he was like, "Anything you can do, anything I can do for you in the future, let me know." But I just never, like, again, I'm not really a person to
reach out.
Yeah, to reach out. And I've always known where I'm at the time. Like, I know if I'm fit, I know if I'm not, I know if I'm overweight. No one needs to tell me you need to do this. I already know.
You know your own body.
In my head. So yeah, I did that, and then I went to Warrington. That's in the National North League, which was very, very different, but great at the same time. Probably just what I needed.
Yeah, just get back to sort of
just get back
basics.
into playing. Yeah, just to get back playing 11 aside football. Yeah. It's again carnage. That league, it's mental. But respect to it, because some of the lads. So it's part time. We used to train Tuesdays, Thursdays, and play on a Saturday, and then sometimes play 2 games a week. But yeah, it was good. Great set of lads. But just the football, the way it was played was not what I'm used to whatsoever. Yeah, not whatsoever. And I got fit, because the running you're doing, it's like basketball. Sometimes I remember, like, the first 4 or 5 games, one of the lads like, "You're fucked, aren't you?" And I was like, "Mate, I've never run so much in my life. Even when whatever team you think that I've run most, no, this. What is this?" And it was 0-0. I remember the game. I've come off the pitch. My socks were squelching. I was like, what the heck? I was like, how much have I run? It's like I did about 13.5K, and I played centre back. I was like, how?
Yeah, how do you cover that kind of
ground? I remember
playing
like centre back for me is like 9, 10. Max.
Top level, yeah.
How about on 13.5? What? I was looking at the wingers thinking, I feel sorry for our wingers. One of the lads, Connor Woods, listen, this boy, he doesn't stop. I say boy, man, he does not stop. And I was looking at him thinking, mate,
I don't know how you do it.
Don't know how you do it. But yeah, it was great. It was really good being at Warrington, really good. good bunch of lads. We used to go out there every week and try. It was good.
What was the experience like being playing in front of like such big crowds? So has there been anything ever like kind of kicked off between players and you've had to step in between and you've thought, whoa.
Yeah, you know me, I'm a man of deal with your own problems. So I've never stepped in. I remember once, this is a story, I was at West Brom and Jonas Olsen, tall centre-back, Swedish guy,
yes.
and Boas Myhill, he was the second choice keeper behind Ben Foster. Them two kicked off on the coach, physical. And I remember Ben Foster was in between and he was saying, Andre, help! Because the big guys, Jonas Olsen 6'6" or something like that. And Boas Myhill 6'3", but a strong man. Two grown men. I was like, leave them. Whoever loses knows next time not to deal with them. But Ben was like, help. And then someone else came in. I'm thinking, but he was like, what? You just left? I said, bro, I don't know what happened. I don't know. But yeah, I've never got involved in anything because I think if something happens, if I lose it, then I think, why am I here? It's not my problem to start with.
Stick out,
but I've been at a few little Russells. I remember when Suarez bit Ivanovic at Anfield.
Oh, yeah.
Kicked off in the tunnel. And that was the old Anfield.
Yeah.
So that tunnel was tight. Yeah. And some big guys. Ivanovic is big. Suarez is strong. And it's like he doesn't fear even anyone, not anything, not even anyone, anything. Yeah. Chelsea got big lads. QPR, Liverpool kicked off. Barton, I think, said something to someone. Shut up, and then it just back forth and then in the tunnel. But I was like, come on then. So it was a big kerfuffle.
Yeah.
The Suarez everything at Old Trafford. Remember in the tunnel. Yeah, kicked off there. When I was at Derby, once kicked off. Yeah, a few kickoffs. Yeah, many, loads. But they were probably most ones that people know about. The Suarez one with Ivanovic. Yeah, that was a good one.
Have you had any times where the crowd's turned on you or turned on the opposition and you're like, thank God that's not me?
Yeah. Once we was at when I was at Derby and our own fans were booing us. It was weird.
Yeah.
It was weird to play under that. We was at home and it was booing us. Yeah, it's a weird dynamic to play under because usually the fans are behind you, obviously. But there was booing us, so that was weird. That was weird. But I played against teams that their fans are booing them, but it's great for us. Yeah. Because you use that, you see. Yeah. And then you see the gaffer start talking. God, hey, look, listen. Do you know what I mean? At half time, the gaffer comes in. Their own fans. Listen, if you don't, turn them over. Yeah. So it's that type of vibe. It works both ways. But when I'm on the pitch, I just like kind of block out everything.
The noise.
Yeah, I kind of block out the noise. I only ever hear the funny things, literally. I've never even heard like bad stuff being said to me. It's always funny, like I get called Norman all the time, Norman Wisdom. Obviously. So I've got alopecia, but when I first got it, I didn't fully shave my head. Yeah. So I had like 4 or 5 bald patches and I was like, so I was playing right back, and then one guy, I was at Norwich, he was like, bloody hell, mate, have you seen your red? And then it just, and I was like, yeah. He was like, what's happened? He's like, gives a look. Like, it's alopecia. He was like, bloody hell. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I've had funny encounters like that. There's some funny ones. And then when I fully shaved up, it was baldy, that's great, that's the common shout, but some are funnier than others. But yeah, that's it. You're crap, you're shit. But I just laugh, and then usually they laugh back. But yeah, I've never really had no hooliganism, like proper ones. I know some lads who have had some proper ones, but I've never really had that. You get, and then I just laugh, and then they laugh back. So I've had like good experiences, like with the crowd and stuff like that. But I've been in hostile environments for sure. When we was with England under 19s, we played Serbia.
Wild.
Mental. Big fight happened. Mental. Police was involved. Our bus was getting flipping. Peppered. I was on the bus like, oh my God, we're gonna die. you know when you always think you're gonna die. It's like, oh, we're gonna die, lads. Yeah, so I've had some hostile environment situations, but majority, all in all, it's been sick, yeah. even just the pressures of being a football player, it's hard. It's tough. And then when something goes wrong, it's amplified massively. That's the thing. What I would advise is just know what you're doing, because you can do this thing 10 times. If you say it was a drink driving case, so that's what it was, and it happened to crash.
Yeah.
But you could drink drive 10 times, and the one time you crash, it's bad.
The knock-on effect.
But when you're a person of notoriety, so in this case a footballer, the world's gonna know about it.
Yeah. Because it turned into a full-on court case with him and the club.
Court case, yeah. He got let go, and then it was unlawful sacking or dismissal, unlawful dismissal. I think that's what it was, and yeah, things can just transpire quick. So the decisions that you do make when you're out in a nightclub, a party, or when you're out, even just dealing with the general public, you're going to get fans who might give you a bit of stick or this or that or the other. You need to know how to conduct yourself and always represent yourself and the club, because you're on the contract.
So obviously you've had a a very varied and mixed, interesting career to date, and obviously you're still on the lookout for a club.
Yeah.
Have you got any plans for when you can't play anymore? Have you got any thoughts?
No, which is worrying. I don't. Like I said, I'm only 31, and I want to get back into full-time football and get a club. So that's all my focus is on now. Training, I've done my whole pre-season with Salford City. Grateful for the opportunity there, and if something can transpire, I'm all in. But after football, I'm not too sure. I've still got some years in my legs, still 100%. I'm 100% fit. But after football, I'm not quite sure if I'll go down the coaching route, or I just sit back and enjoy the fruits of my labour, hopefully.
Podcasts are always a good thing,
Yeah. It's always a good thing. Great thing, actually. But I'm not sure how I'd approach. I'm not like a social media guy or anything. I don't have Instagram, Twitter, and the rest. Yeah, so I'm not sure how I'd approach that. But there's many things. Each year, like, I'm surprised by opportunities that come and things that I might take an interest to and stuff. So we'll just see what happens. Yeah.
Do you think the financial decisions that you've made along the way have made the transition, or will make the transition, kind of easier for you?
100%, 100%. Because even if I didn't implement them things earlier on in my life, when I left Derby, I could have ended up flat on my arse, basically. So I've managed to maintain and still live the life that I want to live, and a good life. Whilst I haven't been making any money from football because of decisions that I've made. So yeah, it definitely will help. I'm not saying it'll make everything great, because you need to make money in this life. That's just the bottom line of it. But yeah, for sure it'll help.
But it definitely puts you in a position where you can choose what you want to do, rather than being forced into something.
Forced to, yeah. And absolutely. Again, the person I am, I don't think, because of the structure and the rigid routine that I've had throughout my life, it'd be tough for me now to go into like a totally whole new environment and flourish. And I don't want to go do something that I'm half-hearted.
And the fact you still love football, obviously, is a big factor.
Yeah, for sure. Still love it and still keep playing.
Andre, absolute pleasure.
Thank
you so much, friend.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thanks, mate.